Good evening, everyone. It has been a crazy day in LA. Everybody's a buzz with this Sean Combs Reckoning Netflix documentary. Now, let me tell you, I told you that I was preparing something. I have to write it all down because if not, you guys know your girl, I will go on a rant. My ADHD is strong. So I wrote it all down for you because if not, you're going to have to go get you a sleeping bag and some popcorn and something to drink because it will turn into an overnight TED Talk. So let's just break it into I broke it into 5 parts, okay? So let's start with part one. Now, this documentary does a good job of showing you giving you a taste of what his childhood was like. Okay, so you got to understand that Janice was a single mom. His dad unfortunately passed away, and I don't want to speak on what circumstances, but he passed away, and so Janice took herself and her baby into a nice neighborhood, and also took in another mother and a child about the same age. His name is Tim Patterson, and they shared the house together, and they grew up together. That was she did that in order for him to have a partner, a friend, or whatever in the house. But this house was not a regular kid house. No, no. This house was chaotic. There was adults coming and going. There was partying. There was a dance floor in the living room. He said that there was New York Knicks and women that looked like they came out of the Ebony magazine. Now, you know that those women are beautiful. And there was a lot of drinking and partying and dancing, the music, everything was going on. And Sean was dressed in a way that was very adult. Okay, some say that he looked like a little pimpish. You look at the pictures, and he did have that look. The hats, the little fur coats, the little suits. She just dressed them to the nines. I'm sure that she had the best intentions for her child, but she was a single mom. And let's give her grace for that. Because, me being a single mom, I know I didn't do everything right either. It's very tough, but she was doing her best. But it was quite chaotic. And at one point, Janice, Sean is being interviewed, and they ask him, why was he out in the middle of the night, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, when he was a very young child? And then Janice is in the audience, and she says, well, I would hit him for it. So Tim Patterson added that he would get whoopings, but Sean was getting beat, viciously beat by his mom for acting out. Now, when you grow up in this kind of chaos, your brain learns certain things real fast. You learn that nobody's protecting you. You learn you have to act grown or get eaten alive. You learn that controlling your environment is important because it keeps you safe. You know that power is going to get you respect. It builds a kid who becomes an adult who thinks that fear is the only language people will listen to. Does that sound familiar to where we're going? So all of a sudden, everything makes sense, right? We've been hearing over the years the assault of Steve Stout. Now, Steve Stout shot a video with him, and it had him on a cross, and he was speaking with the pastor. The pastor said it might be a bad look, it might backfire, people might not like it. And so he wanted it taken out, but it was already out. So he showed up, and he, according to what they say, is that he hit him with a champagne bottle and a chair. So in 1999, he was at a club. He had an altercation with another man that he didn't get along with, and he shot a gun. Now, he wasn't convicted of it, but he was charged with shooting the gun. And there is a woman, Natasha Georgette Rubin, who says that she saw him shoot her in the face. To this day, she says that she is willing to take out the fragments so that she could prove that it was him who did it. All right? His former bodyguards, like Roger Bonds, Jim Deal, have said for years that they have witnessed violent outbursts, intimidation, and controlling behavior. Artists like Mark Curry wrote entire books about how manipulative and psychologically damaging it was to work for him. And then you have other incidents other people bring up. You know, in the documentary, they talk about a bathroom shooting. Um, the producer took video of the bathroom, and you could see that there is, you know, all kinds of stuff, that something bad happened in there. And there was a fight where the dancers and employees who said that he would throw things and scream in their faces or chase them backstage. Some of those names are not public, but the stories exist and follow the pattern. Now, I want to say something personal here because I understand what it feels like to grow up in an unsafe environment. When I was a little girl in Mexico, 4 or 5, 6 years old, I used to run away for days. I would get on the metro in Mexico to get away from my house because sometimes it is safer to be on the streets than to be at home. And for a child, it's important to feel safe and to protect yourself. And when I heard the thing that he would be out late, it kind of resonated with me. But here's the truth. Trauma explains behavior. It does not excuse it. A lot of us grew up in chaos. A lot of us were hurt, abandoned, beaten, ignored. But we didn't grow up to abuse people. We didn't grow up to terrorize everyone around us. We didn't grow up to repeat the pain that was given to us. Some people break the cycle. Some people choose not to. And trust me, when I was out there riding in the Mexico City Metro as a whole tiny runaway, I wasn't hitting anybody with a champagne bottle talking about get out of my seat. No, I was trying to get away and I was trying to find safety. And I wasn't trying to start a beef with 50 Cent. That's all I'm saying. I mean, everybody chooses their path. So point one is simple. The documentary shows where the foundation was laid, a childhood full of chaos, fear, punishment, adult responsibility, and zero protection. And once you understand that foundation, you understand that man that he became. But understanding it doesn't mean excusing it. It just means we now see where the story starts. And point two is where it gets even messier. Now, I wanted to share that with you because we need to have a foundation. And we have to remember that even though the things that have been exposed are horrific, there is a reason for it. You know, the stuff that he witnessed in his home, I'm sure there was some behaviors as far as, you know, adults being adults that he witnessed that may explain some of the freaky behavior. But it's still, we cannot excuse that type of behavior just because you went through trauma. We need to understand it and try to stop it from happening to those around us and the children that are being raised around us. We need to learn to speak up, and we need to take care of the kids and the adults. And with that, I'm going to leave you. I hope that this was helpful. I'm going to do a part 2. Please remember to comment, comment, tell me you liked it, tell me you didn't like it, ask me questions. Tell me to go deeper into something, and I will look into it for you. But I do feel that the psychology is important in all of these things that we are learning about him, because a lot of the question is, why is he like this? Why did people react the way they reacted to him? And how was he so charming that he got away with it? Well, it's all explained in the psychology. So let's talk about it. You guys, I hope you like this episode. This is going to be episode 1. And don't ask anybody for the password on Netflix. Netflix is cracking down. If you are not home, you're going to have to ask permission to use your Netflix account outside the house, as I found out. Not because I was sharing my password, but because husband was trying to watch his movies at work. But anyway, let me know what you think. I love you. Have a great night. Bye-bye.